Now, speaking of Lori, she made the news as well recently.
Yes, she did.
On the debut of Fuller House, she's making a joke about not wanting to pay for college for the kids.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I don't remember the exact verbiage of the joke, but that's like the last joke she makes in the first scene. It's like, I don't want to have, like, take away the kids and bring them back. You know, I don't want to have to pay for college.
I think you're the first person that has brought this up ever, anywhere.
I'm going to look, I mean, this happened like a couple of years. This episode was a couple of years before the situation. But
right.
I just think that's very interesting and serendipitous.
It is art pre-imitating life.
Yeah.
I will say that, and I've said it because people were always, before COVID, you'd have TMZ around every corner.
Right.
And that's where your big interviews come. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't do mobile interviews.
Right.
But right?
I'm trying to catch my car from the airport. What do you...
Put me in a chair or on a couch. I'll talk to you. Let's go with a couple cameras.
Right.
But my answer is I love who I love, and I love her.
Yeah,
and
of course.
she's a wonderful person, and that's it.
Yeah.
People go through shit. Nobody.
I got friends who go through shit too.
Me
We
too.
all
Definitely.
do. We all do, and we're in a canceling time where I could say something here, you could say something, but you can't get canceled because you're so.
They tried. It didn't work.
They really try every day. I don't know if you know this
they
about
really?
me, but they try to cancel me a lot.
They were trying to cancel me over jokes that I told that they take it out of context, and I wouldn't do them today.
Right.
And I'm sorry they exist on
But
tape.
in the context of the time, that's what, comedians obviously can't apologize. It's something that we've established because we've had so many comedians on this show. But comedians do grow, which is why you're saying, okay, I'm not going to apologize, but I can grow.
Well, what's funny, yes. I mean, I wrote a book called Dirty Daddy.
Yeah, you did.
And that in that book, I told a story about a few stories, because I thought that sells books. And they went, oh, tell a story. So I embellished a thing that happened on the set, which I don't want to talk about because it's just, and I apologized. It's in the book, but they don't, I apologized right away. I shouldn't have done this. It was stupid. It was like a 10-second thing. That we're not going to talk about with a stunt doll, but anyway, but we're not going to talk about it. But I'm the one that cancels myself.
Right.
I shouldn't have. I didn't have to say I did something that disgusting and stupid, but it wasn't done in a disgusting way, even though it was, and now definitely is perceived that way. But I am sorry for people that have been through terrible stuff. But comedians. If you look at a lot of comedy 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and watch how comedians worked or watch comedy movies, a lot of times people would say stuff in the movie that you would deem racist today or deem, oh my God, that's pedophilic or that's violation of someone. But the point of that comedy then was trying to go, look how horrible this is, so I'm going to point it out and do that joke. And then you go, whoa. But that intention doesn't travel. And it doesn't do well with time. And it's not even part of my consciousness now to do a joke like that. And Sarah Silverman talked about this. I would not do that joke today, but it was a time where you're calling it out.
Chapelle says that the reason that he did Sticks and Stones is precisely what you're talking about. Sticks and Stones starts with him doing jokes about, if I was a pedophile, Macaulay Culkin's the first kid I'm fucking.
Right.
And he's like, the point of that joke is, well, clearly I'm not fucking kids. That's the whole
And
point.
it's a horrible thing to do.
Yeah.
But he's also saying that Macaulay is adorable.
Right.
Because he is.
Right.
But not sexually.
Right.
But if you're going to use a famous name, that's also, and I know Macaulay, and I love the guy.
Right.
So it's just, it's hard to explain to people levels, and we are in a sensitive time where I feel I have to be conscious. And I do something that happened naturally. So this whole thing with Yellow Springs and Dave and my closeness with him is really, and my friendship with Bill Burr, the people that are trying to, shake people up or say something that this isn't going to go over well. When you hear comedians say that, or, don't cancel me over this, but I'm going to say, if you tee it up properly, it takes some of the onus off of it if it's funny.
Yeah.
if it's funny. But if it's meant as a,
Yeah.
if it's a gross out, then it ain't gonna work.
Right.
I can't do anything now touching on pedophilia where I used to do jokes. One of my first jokes when I was 17 or 18 was I have the brain of a German Shepherd and the body of a 16-year-old boy, and they're both in my car, and I want you to see them.
Right.
And that's a kid in the trunk of your car.
Fucking crazy.
That's not something wrong with me.
When you was on the Dangerfield show, you said my new girlfriend, I'm nuts over her. She's this tall.
And that's an old joke. That was an old joke.
Yeah.
But those jokes, people still love them, but I don't do stuff I used to do.
Right.
That's what I love about stand-up. That's what you love about you're always inventing something new and ground you haven't broken before. And I'm really proud of the work I'm doing now. And I'm very conscious of the work I've done. I'm trying to move forward.
Right.
I'm hoping that with the cancel culture, because the point of it was to point out racists, right? And
Yes.
sexist.
Oh, racism,
that was
sexism,
the point. So
rape culture.
I do rape
Yeah,
culture.
rape
I do think that cancel culture has really gone above and beyond, especially as a comedian, because it's like, we laugh at inappropriate things that people want to laugh about. They just wouldn't say them out loud. That's like the whole point. But I'm hoping that, as it's heightened right now to weed these people out, that it'll go back to the norm to where it's like, okay, we don't think this person is racist because they're saying a racy joke, or we don't think this person's a rapist because they're saying, oh gosh, recorded me talking. We don't think this person is rapist because they said like a roofie joke or something like that. It's just seen as comedy, but we have to weed these people out. So it's like a give and a take with the whole cancel culture.
I think here's the problem. The problem when sort of progressive academic language is whittled down to being woke, and you have average. And when I say average, it's not a judgment call. I'm just talking about, the norm of what people are. Most people don't have the experience to be speaking in these high-minded, highfalutin academic terms.
Right.
And these terms now become mainstream, and people are flinging them around, and people are forming like victim bond sessions, and people are like getting the endorphins of feeling like I'm better than you.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you call someone out on social media, that has a lot to do with it. You start getting likes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you start getting addicted to that.
Yeah, and that's ego. And that
that's
takes
all ego.
all the lightness out of life.
That's right.
You're not going to have a happy day.
Right.
You are just going to be on alert. You're a watchdog to try to cause
Havoc.
and yes, they do hit upon correct assumptions.
Right, and in addition to they sometimes, not only are they often correct, I mean, we start talking about rape culture and all that stuff, like the data says, for the most part, for the vast majority of the time, women aren't lying about this stuff. As a man, I've had people come
And
at me
they've been
with,
afraid to come out. I mean,
right, they don't even test rape kits. They don't even check the rape kits. I've had people make all types of crazy accusations against me. They haven't slowed me down as a performer, as a man, and I feel like that's my male privilege.
Right.
I feel like if I was responsible for any of the things they're accusing me of, it would be different.
So you've been accused of actual actions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been accused of things I've said, and people see like the roast that they roasted
Yeah, the
me,
roast, yeah.
and how people did a lot of those kind of jokes, which I didn't like, and I
Right.
didn't want them at who they were directed at. But they
you did tell them to suck your $100 million cock at the end, though.
I did do that.
Yes, you did. You
but
let
that
them
was
know.
to the dais. That
Yeah,
was to
I know.
all the
I knew what that
comedians.
was.
But a lot of the people, a lot of the Gen Z, who are the future. So I don't want them to be like this.
Yeah.
Are looking at a roast and they're saying, well, if they're doing jokes about this, it's got to be true. And
Right.
it's like, I'm sorry. It's not the news. It's jokes.
And that's
Right.
the point I'm making, is that when people are now presenting themselves as scholarly experts, as academic experts, all this stuff, and comedy, for it to be good comedy, has to not be academic. It has to be based on generalizations. When I see a great comedian says black people act like this, or white people act like this, or gay people act like this, or
Right.
women be shopping, like all this stuff is clearly not based on actual data and
Exactly.
facts. It's based on stereotype, it's based on generalization, it's based on the society.
And that's how this culture does move that needle forward.
Mm-hmm.
It stops the it allows a new way to look at people. And you can usually be safe if you're talking about your own group.
Yeah, that's how it's been traditionally.
And I
I
agree
a great
with it.
comic though is someone who I think this is what makes you know, Dave so great and so beloved amongst so many different diverse groups of people, and yourself as well. I mean, you did an event with Burner.
Burner's hilarious. He named himself after a phone.
But Cypher Sounds tells me that he said, we go to do this weed event, and it's all these comedians, and the whole audience is stoned. So he said everyone was bombing. He said, I had my eyes trained on this one black guy with a blunt in his mouth who didn't laugh at anything.
Yeah.
Right.
He said, and then Bob Saget gets up there.
And I knew that, I figured it out. I'm 65. I've been doing stand-up for 40 million years.
Right.
I go to an event. I see they're all stoned. They can't move. It's the best pot.
Right.
And San Francisco, pray for that city. Downtown's not in a good place.
Right.
We're on top of a building living this strange altered reality on 420. I see a guy not laughing, but I see that he's smiling.
Right.
And if you're stoned, I told the audience, you're smiling, I'm crushing. Right now. And then they started to actually vocally laugh.
Right.
And then I said, are you all right? Are you unhappy? To this gentleman. And he went, no, I'm good. He woke up.
Yeah, Cypher said he was like,
But you know,
and then it was I had a wonderful time. And that's what Dave knows. And Dave's full of love. So Dave Chapelle at his root is love. And he feels the pain of humanity. And what the hell are we going to do? And so the root of who I am, as older I get, is love. And yeah, I'm not always like that. I'm disgruntled at home, or I'll watch the news and I'll yell. You know, I'll get really upset about stuff. But if you are coming from a place of love and you're a good person, people think Bill Burr is all angry.
Right.
Guy's so full of love.
he is. He really is.
He's so special.
Yeah, he really is.
So, you know, that's the key, and that's why I'm more inspired to do stand-up now than ever.
What we done started. Look at what we done started. This the people party. When opportunity knocking, then young nigga move that door. Whoa, get your foot stuck, get it, call me young, go get it. Now you can't fuck with it, might as well roll with it. What's the word?